If you want anybody to respect you or
Mhm.
revere you or
Mhm.
honor you, you
Mhm.
have to know how to solve problems. That's what you
Mhm.
have to do as a male.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of the podcast here with my brother Tech G, G Dizzle. But I'll let him introduce himself. Go ahead, brother. Let them know what's going on, what your channel's all about.
All right, what up, everybody? This is G Dizzle. Some of y'all know me as G Lowry, and some of y'all know me as Tech G for my IT content.
Okay.
So that's me.
So you are a very controversial guy. No, it's not so bad or over the top, but you definitely funny. That's for sure. And you talk a gang of shit, like a whole lot. Not on the Tech G channel, but on the other channel. And I was listening to the video Black Manosphere Beef or Black Manosphere Drama. It was a live stream. I listened to a whole live stream on the gym. It's like 48 minutes or 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're making some interesting points that I want to talk about today because you talked about a few things about black men, and I will talk about it in 2 points. One is that black men blame everything on white supremacy as to why they can't do something, and black men also spend too much time talking shit about black women. And we're talking about that in terms of the internet, or let's just be real, the black manosphere community. And I thought you had made some pretty valid points, and I wanted to talk to you about that. So I guess we can start with with maybe the first part. Let's start with the black men complaining about black women. Why did you say that?
Um, I said that because of recent things going on in the manosphere where people are complaining about female content creators, I guess, invading the space, and just the normal stuff people talk about. But my whole thing is, I do think brothers spend way too much time complaining about black women, and I get why they do it, but some of y'all are just beating these horses just beyond death at this point. It's just, I think some of y'all's focus could be redirected towards something that is actually more beneficial to brothers than
Mm-hmm.
trying to give them the latest breakdown on why the ABW or the American Black Woman or whoever you're dealing with is doing what they do. I
Mm-hmm.
think after about 3, 4, 5 years of this, I think we all kind of understand what's going on with the black woman. And if a brother wants to go out there and subject themselves to certain things, it kind of is what it is at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think y'all could be more beneficial to the upliftment of black men by
Mm-hmm.
teaching them something or pointing them in a direction to where they can
Mm-hmm.
actually use a tangible skill to hopefully elevate their life. That's what I honestly believe needs to take place.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about that. That's definitely a good point. Not only did you say that, there was another brother that I just did a show that said almost the same thing
Mhm.
with that too. But brother Reese L, right? Brother, he talked about that. But let me ask you this, because a lot of there's some other brothers, not necessarily manosphere, but there are certain elements of black men that talk about that, like white supremacy is really just holding the black man back. And the black man, the famous statement, the white man got his foot on my neck. Okay. Now let's talk about this, because black men are at the bottom usually of the society, usually anywhere in the black world. The black people are at the bottom. But do you think that it is a white supremacy issue that are keeping these African American men at the bottom of the barrel in the USA today?
No, I think it's a fear of learning how to be competitive in the 21st century issue.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I give this statement all the time on my channel. I say Steve Jobs freed black people the moment he came out with that damn iPhone. When that iPhone came out,
Uh-huh.
you got basically a supercomputer in the palm of your hands that can get you access to information all over the world at the speed of right now. That kind of removed all barriers and all excuses as to why you can't go out there and try to do something with your life. To sit around here and pretend like this is 1952, 1962, or 1921 or whatever, and we're in the year 2021 with all this damn internet and all these damn smartphones and all this stuff. I just can't accept that you can run around here blaming the white man. I just can't accept it. I'm of the mindset that you just don't want to learn how to be competitive in the 21st century. I don't know what else to call it at this point, but that's what is. It seemed like it's boiled down to that. As far as I'm concerned, you just refuse to get with the times to learn how to be competitive when you have access to everything that the so-called white man and everybody else has access to.
Okay. So, because a lot of times, what you hear a lot of black men in the manosphere say that black women don't want to compete. What you're saying is that could be true, it could not be true. But what is true? A lot of black men don't want to compete.
I'm saying black people don't want to compete. You know, black men, they'll blame black women for all the ills and all the problems, and then black women will turn around and do the same thing, hence this whole gender war. And then you have people be like, well, it really stems from racism and white supremacy and how the white man has been doing this and that to us for 400 years. I'm like, I get all that. But at some point, you as a man or woman, especially if you're a brother out there, you know, here's the thing with the women. Women, they can go to their grave blaming somebody else for their problems because there's always going to be somebody out there to solve their problems or you know, help them temporarily fix it or whatever the case may be. You as a man, you ain't got no excuses. You got to go out there and get it popping, or you got to go out there and you know, go ahead and dig your grave and start laying in it now. You don't have an excuse. So blaming black women and blaming white people all day long, especially if you're an adult male, and you want everybody to believe that you're an adult male, then you got to go out there and start actually acting like an adult male and going out there and trying to figure out how to solve problems. That's what you're here to do. You're here to solve problems. If you want anybody to respect you, revere you, value you, you got to be able to solve problems with people.
Say that again. That's important. I want you to say it again.
I said, if you want anybody to respect you or revere you or honor you, you have to know how to solve problems. That's what you have to do as a male. You know, we got hunters, we got gatherers, we got nurturers or whatever. We're hunters by nature. At least that's what we're supposed to be. At least the generation I come from, that's what we're supposed to be. So if you're not out there trying to hunt and trying to solve problems, what are you doing? You just can't be blaming women and white people. Listen, there's a time and a place for that, but y'all have taken it above and beyond to the next level. Some of the blame, some of the blame game that y'all are doing. It's like, dude, you could have been investing that time into something else to where it possibly could have elevated your life by now. But here you are, months and months and years later, you're kind of still in the same predicament, going around and around in the same circles, crying about the same thing you were just crying about 2 years ago. Like, when are you going to do something to fix it? That's my whole point.
Let me get to, you know, I'll get to the running in circles and circles in a minute. I think it's a valiant point, but let me kind of rewind that. And you said that this complaining is going to another level. It's going to another level. Can you explain what you mean when you say another level?
Well, what I mean by another level is going to this place where it's almost like it's becoming cool to whine and cry and complain and not do what men are supposed to do. Because you see, I guess people are trying to come onto this space, Black YouTube, Black manosphere, and they see other people, you know, what I like to say is, you know, somewhat whining and crying and complaining. And they want to try to monetize the whining and the crying and complaining about white people and black women all day. And they think that's healthy and that's cool because they can get rewarded for that monetarily through a super chat or through some AdSense or whatever. But my thing is, what are the long-term effects here?
Okay.
Like how is this actually impacting young black males? Because look, I got a 15-year-old son. And I think about when my son watches YouTube and he comes across one of y'all's channels, you know, thank God I'm here in his life and, you know, we live in the same house, you know what I'm saying? But if I wasn't here and my son was getting raised off of YouTube videos, I'd be like, how's my son going to turn out if what he thinks is black male masculinity is coming from a bunch of dudes who have made it quote unquote cool to just cry about black women and white people all day long and not present something else to kind of balance it out. And so I guess that's what I mean by it's going to another level where it's like it's becoming cool to do this because you're getting rewarded monetarily. But like I said, what are the long-term effects of this? Like, especially with young people that are looking at this, how is it affecting them?
I want to kind of back up because, you know, I did a show with a brother, Beautiful Lies. I don't know if you saw the show, a collaboration, and we talked about, would black men get more respect from black women? Because that's the thing, like, no matter what I do, black women just not respecting the productive black men. It's just because the Pookies and Ray Rays out here are winning. Like before we started, we were talking about what's going on in Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah. I mean, shout out to y'all because y'all killing everybody out there right now. But there's a certain idea that if I'm a black man that is even in tech or healthcare, a lot of black women are not going to even really care about that, or a guy that's trying to do the right thing. It seems like that the other guys are the real masculine, the pseudo masculine guys are really promoted in the black community. And do you think that that black men who are really being men, that black women can pick up on it? A lot of guys say like, the other races pick up on it before black women do. But in your experience, what do you believe for these men who are complaining about black women? Obviously they like them. Do you think that, they're not going to be able to get a black woman if they're an honest, good, good man because of the Pookies and Ray Rays and all that other stuff?
I think the Pookie and Ray Ray thing is another excuse, man. Just another excuse to just to blame somebody for your deficiencies. Look, I think, here's the problem that I kind of have, and maybe I'm a little out of touch because, I was born in 1980. And I say this on my channel all the time. I come from the era where I had to go outside, talk to females face to face, put a Tic Tac in my mouth, learn how to read body language.
Yep.
Go through the whole rejection and embarrassment process.
Right.
Until I kind of figured out what worked for me.
Right.
Nowadays, you got young dudes coming up. They come up in the world of social media. All they see is chicks on their screen. They hit the little heart button and they're sliding in DMs, doing whatever the hell they do. I don't come from that world. So I used to have my little talking points where I'd be like, these dudes, they just don't get it. But then there was a content creator who made a video about me talking about I don't get it. And then I had to sit back and think. I was like, damn, maybe I don't get it. Maybe I'm just so far removed from this that I really don't get it. But with all that being said, even if I don't get it to the extent that I'm supposed to get it, I know I keep saying get it a lot. I still think that at the end of the day, there's still a lot of excuse blame. So yes, Pookie and Ray Ray, they've been Pookie and Ray Ray since forever. They go keep doing what they do. There's all the educated lames. There were always educated lames out there.
Right.
Half of y'all got parents that are so-called educated lames. How in the hell did y'all? How in the hell were y'all born if educated lames weren't able to go out there and get with a woman? You understand what I'm saying?
That's true.
There's got to be something in you. But what I think dudes are doing, I think they're doing what females do. They're looking online and comparing themselves to other dudes to try to figure out, how come I ain't got it popping like him? Or how come my swag ain't like him? Instead of, why don't you just focus on you? And maybe you need to just kind of step back and just kind of realize that, okay, this is what you're good at. This is where your strengths are. You need to go out there and maybe find you a suitable mate that kind of falls into that lane a little bit. And I think you'll be happy. But then I guess that can lead into this whole other conversation about how, with your buddy Kevin Samuels, how these women, they all want the top 10, the top echelon of men, and they don't want to get a dude within their lane. So I guess that's kind of where I kind of fall out of touch with this crap with some of these people. But regardless of all that, I think a lot of you dudes out here that are complaining, that are so-called educated lames, and I hate that term, but some of you guys who aren't out there doing the Pookie and Ray Ray stuff, I mean, listen, dude, you got to man up, B. You got to man up. You got to man. You can't sit around here and just sit around and watch what Pookie and Ray Ray do and wonder why you're not living the life they're living. You got to just go out there and do you. I don't know what the hell do you means. That's something you're gonna have to figure out on your own individual terms. But all this sitting around and crying and whining, dude, what are y'all doing? What are y'all really doing? You really have to figure out what's appropriate for you and go out there and make it happen. And hopefully a good woman will fall into your lap, or you'll put yourself in a position to meet a good woman. Then again, I don't know.
But let me ask you this, because me and you, we're similar. You was born in '80, I was born in '81.
Yeah.
So it's not so much of a difference. And I think that, I hit the 40 club now. I see, life is really slowed down for me. But I'm not so old, even though I do feel that age difference is like, I'm like, okay, I'm different from these guys that's younger, for sure. I'm starting to see that now. Guys like me and you are starting to see that now. But what I want to know is that guys like you, who have worked hard, you've done the right thing, you specialize yourself. For guys in your circle, do they ever have a problem with women or getting women?
No. I can honestly say that I don't know of too many dudes in my age bracket that have issues getting women. Like, I don't ever hear them talking about it. Every time I see them, there's a chick on their arm. Like, I don't know. I think this is really a generational thing, man. Especially those who came up in social media, who have been raised by these smartphones. And this is something that I got to worry about with my own 15-year-old son, is him turning out like a lot of these dudes that are online. So yeah, it's a generational thing, man. I just don't see it. Dudes from our era, we're used to rejection. We're used to going out there trying to shoot our shot, getting rejected until we figured out what works. I mean, because we didn't have a choice back then.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You didn't have a choice. You had to go say something. It wasn't no, hitting her up in the inbox. Like, inboxes weren't around back then.
Right.
So, yeah, that's why I was saying earlier, it's kind of hard for maybe I'm somewhat out of touch because I'm so far removed from that. But at the same time, I may be out of touch with what's currently going on in the dating market now. But at the same time, there's still this like a lack of masculinity that kind of disturbs me with how some people respond or react to things not going their way in the dating pool. I'm like, regardless of what's going on, you still got to man up. You can't be out here whining and crying. You got to man up, B.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty good. Again, it's a little bit of controversial topic. But I mean, you know what? I think that these are discussions that need to be had in the black manosphere, because, I do see a lot of guys, I mean, wrong. I do my little roasting on my celebrity stuff, but I do kind of feel that you have a lot of guys who, when you even do a video about something that's, positive, or, you talked about on your other channel, something that involves business or business networking, you'll never see guys getting views on those sort of things. Yeah. I've done shows with everybody, with, business connections and business networks, things that bring you money. Guys have met each other off of my platforms and all kind of stuff, and, did some really great things. And you put that video up, it's like 4,000 views. But if it's like, IG model gets caught stripping or thotting it up, and it's like 100,000 views, you know what I mean? And it's like, I would love to have a, content that was more edifying, but, a lot, like you said, a lot of guys in the black community, they're not going to watch it. But when you go to the other parts of YouTube, like I was watching this video, it was the MIT School of Management, right? There was this, it was I forgot what it was. It was the Sloan campus. Okay, if you look at the portfolio management on the MIT Open courseware, it has 3.2 million views. This video, you would never find. And this topic was Jake Exia was the person that did this particular a lecture. You would never find those kind of views in black YouTube. You just wouldn't. Whenever you see something that is like about investments or 401ks, and the blacks have enough of an audience base to pull those numbers off, for sure. Because you see it on the celebrity and you see it in the gossip, but and the things that matter, you just don't really see black men really paying attention to those things. And you can see that their focus is on something that's not necessarily so productive. And I think that you called that out. And that's something that we got to say that it is happening in our community, that we have a lot of black men who are not really that serious about, taking control of their life, trying to be competitive, trying to take the opportunities. There is racism, sure, but there are many opportunities in America that you can be taking advantage of to do something with yourself. And you just don't see black men doing it as much as they should be.
No, you're correct, man. I think this space, the Black Manosphere, it has great intentions of trying to uplift Black people, but based off of my perspective, it seems like the space has just shifted towards, let's just talk about Black women all day. Let's just talk about this. It's kind of gotten away from what I thought was the core message of let's uplift Black men. Yes, you can uplift Black men by talking about relationship woes, but I think it's so lopsided right now that it appears that this space is only about relationship topics, as opposed to me creating content, you creating other content around business, tech, or whatever, stuff that a Black male can actually implement in their life at damn near the speed of right now to actually elevate and uplift them. And it's a shame that that type of content isn't as revered as as similar content you will find in other spaces around YouTube, especially when this is the stuff that can actually elevate a Black man, hopefully put him in a position of higher income, higher earnings, and overall higher quality of life, as opposed to let's just go around and around talking about white people and Black women all day. So I think I've been saying this for the longest, I think there needs to be a balance, but as to whether or not the interest is going to be there remains to be seen. But you gotta I guess you gotta keep doing what you gotta do, and hopefully just trying to, if you believe in this, just you can probably convert or flip one person at a time, because I've had people that sub to my channel, my G Dizzle channel, that actually sub to my tech channel, and they was like, oh, I came here for the ratchetness, but then they turned around and some of them went and got certified, and now they're out there getting jobs. And it's not like this whole movement, but the onesies and twosies, it makes me cry one man tear when I see it happen, because I'm like, wow, at least I'm having some type of positive effect, instead of people just coming here to hear my version of the Negro nonsense nonstop. But I wish the community was more aligned with that. But so far, for the past couple of years, the community says we want to hear the Negro nonsense. That's kind of what it is, because is and that's not front. The Negro nonsense in this space is very profitable at the same time. So I can understand why people want to keep pumping it out. But if you're really about the uplifting of Black men, I think you need to introduce Black men to other variants of content that can actually impact them in a positive manner at damn near the speed of now.
Okay, no, I definitely understand that, brother. And so I definitely thank you for coming on. I always ask people, give us a reason why, we should subscribe to your channel, whichever one you want to promote.
Yeah, so G Dizzle, that's my original channel. G Larry, some of y'all know me as G Larry on YouTube, but that channel is just basically a channel that I rant about Black society for the most part. And it's not because I hate Black people, or some people like to say, oh, you biracial, you think you better. It ain't got nothing to do with that, even though I do poke fun at that all the time. It's really that I feel like I got to do my part to inject some sense of reality into the conversation about what's real versus what's YouTube. Because I've done a lot in my 41 years of life, been a lot of places, education, professional, overseas, all kind of crap. And I just think a lot of y'all get caught up in la la land. So I feel like I got to come down and, kind of smack you around a little bit, be like, hey, this is not how things really go. And if you keep going down this path, you're probably going to turn out to be a 40, 50, 60-year-old failure in life. But I also have another channel, Tech G, where when I'm done ranting and raving, I present a solution to the problem. Now, I don't have all the answers. I just got my version of the solution. And for those of you who choose to take advantage of it, it can help you out. So that's why you should sub to my channel. If you just want to hear somebody talk some smiggity smack and then turn around and smack you in the face with a solution at the same time. That's what I do. So
All right, well, give the brother a round of applause. And I definitely thank him for coming on. Being patient with me. Actually, I came to Warsaw for something else, and he stayed up and waited for us to finish this collab. So thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. And guys, check out the content at the first comment pinned at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains an all-time high. I'm out.